Geek podcast. Today is August 2nd. We are on the N.FM, 9 p.m. Wednesday Eastern Time. Of course, as usual, my name is Adam, joined by my good friend Logan.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, what's up, man? How's your weekend been? How's your week?
It's same old work craziness, you know.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do anything fun?
No. I was going to say I finally, because Alien Covenant went out on digital, so I watched that, but you said, did I do anything fun? So, no, I have not done anything fun.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, look, it was a step up from Prometheus, but not, that's a low bar. So.
Yeah. I liked it in the theater. I thought it was okay. Had fun watching it, but, yeah, it's definitely better than Prometheus. It's gonna be interesting to see where they go from here.
I don't know. No. I don't know if they are, because remember after Covenant came out and it definitely didn't do the box office they wanted, and critics weren't as crazy on it. They canned Blomkamp's Alien film.
Right.
So
I don't think it's dead in the water. They're gonna continue it, right?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I would like to see them just scrap this narrative altogether and go back to what Blomkamp was doing, because that actually sounded like something I'd want to watch.
Well, the thing is you're right. You're absolutely right. Now we're actually at the aliens that we know and love.
Yeah, true.
Now we're actually there. We have come to that place. So I think they could do anything at this point, you know? No, you don't think so?
I'm kind of burned out, because we've had two movies of basically the same thing. You know, I mean, Prometheus was about, and they designed these things, and Covenant was about, and now they've been designed further. It's like I'm just kind of, I want to see something different. I want to see I don't want to see Prometheus 3. You give me something that's not that, then I'll be interested. But you could tell when they were like, oh, we're not going to call it Prometheus 2, we're going to call it, at first it was going to be Alien Paradise Lost, and I was like, well, that's pretentious as shit. And they were like, well, we're just going to call it Alien Covenant. Okay, but it's still going to be Prometheus 2. Yeah, but we ditched that branding because we know it was awful. But it's a sequel to Prometheus. Well, yeah, but I don't care. Like I was happy to be wrong in that it wasn't awful. I'll give it that. That's really about the best I can go for it.
Yeah. I agree. I liked it until like the David stuff towards the end. That's where it kind of lost me, but I had fun watching it though.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I didn't see anything. I wanted to go see Dunkirk. I wanted to go see Apes. And, I don't know, life found a way, to get in the way.
As it so often does.
As it does. I did start a new show called, Ozark, I think it's called.
I saw, you boot up Netflix and it always starts on like, here's our ad for ourselves, basically. What is that? What is Ozark?
Well, it's pretty much a serious version of Arrested Development.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. It's got Jason Bateman in it, and I kid when I say that, but in a weird way it kind of is. Because it's about where do I start? It's about a guy who is a financial planner in Chicago, and his business has been in the business of money laundering for like the the biggest Mexican cartel there is, the big one or whatever.
Okay.
I don't know. As you can tell, I don't know much about Mexican cartels. But yeah, so it's kind of like Breaking Bad. A lot of people are comparing it to Breaking Bad, where, and I don't want to. It doesn't really spoil that much, but shit happens, and he has to go to the Ozarks, which is in Missouri.
Right.
And basically, he has to figure out how to laundry money out there for this cartel. And he basically just gets in way over his head. There's family drama. He's got to get his, he's got to move his, in the FBI, he's got to just move his whole family in like overnight to the Ozarks and dissolve his business. And of course that alerts everybody, every law enforcement there is. And it feels like Breaking Bad, where he's struggling to breathe. He's struggling to do anything, and everything's falling apart. And all these crazy people he's bumping into in the Ozarks is just making it one headache after another for him. I'm only about 5 episodes in, but I'm really liking it. This is definitely, if you got Netflix, this is a show you need to watch, because it is. And if you like Breaking Bad, it's a no-brainer.
Nice.
Yeah, there's not like a ton of action after every episode, but it makes you like, it's hard to watch because of just, he gets himself in a bad situation after bad situation, and then like it just one thing stacks on top of the other. So it's just like Breaking Bad in that manner. It's like this guy, you really get watching the whole thing, or from what I've seen of it, it makes you never want to ever get into that like breaking the law in that way, because it just never, it's one bad situation after another. But yeah, so that's the Ozarks. So like I said, it's kind of like Arrested Development, but very serious. Because doesn't that happen in Arrested Development? Like his dad goes to jail for embezzling money or something like that.
You're asking the wrong guy, man.
You never watched Arrested Development?
I never watched Arrested Development.
Not like one episode, not even to like see what it was like?
I never got around to it. It wasn't like a conscious like, oh, I'm never watching this. It was just one of those shows. I just never got around to it.
Oh, dude, I think you would like Arrested Development.
Yeah?
Oh, it's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious.
Okay.
It's one of those things where it lasted, I think, 3 seasons. Fox canceled it because they always cancel great shows.
Yeah.
It basically led on to, it allowed other shows like 30 Rock and Community and shows like that to kind of, if it wasn't for Arrested Development, those shows would probably never be on television.
That was kind of the precursor.
It was the precursor, absolutely.
Okay.
And the cast is just phenomenal. Like, oh my god, especially David Cross. He's the best in it because he plays a struggling actor, and so he's always overdoing it, and like, oh man, he calls himself a never nude, where he can never be naked, so he always wears like a pair of jean shorts under every outfit. It's just ridiculous.
Okay, sure, why not?
Yeah, like if you watch Arrested Development, people listening, you'll get that. But it is so funny. It is hysterical. Michael Cera was in the show before he did, before he made it big. Like it's just that cast of characters too. That's why they got him back for the Netflix show. The Netflix show was not good. The season that they did, and it was because all of the people from Arrested Development have all gone on to do bigger and better things.
Right.
So it would have been super hard to get them all together at the same time. So for the season that Netflix did, it was like you had Michael Cera one episode. The next episode was all about David Cross. The next episode, and it was all about one day. So you saw the perspective of all the family members in one day. And it didn't work because the show was funny when they all were interacting with each other. But yeah, dude, you gotta, if you can, I don't even know if it's on Netflix. I guess it is on Netflix.
I think I think it is, yeah.
Dude, you need to sit back. Next time you get a break and you're like, I need something just fun and dumb, give it a try. It's really funny. I have no idea if it still holds up, but man, was that, Arrested Development. You got to try it.
Okay.
Yeah, so Ozark, that was great. I watched an episode of Blood. What's the Netflix show? Blood. Oh
I
man, hold
I
on.
I don't know.
Bloodline. That's it.
Okay.
Yes,
And
because
now
that was another.
what's that one?
Well, I only watched one episode, so it wasn't. It was a little bit confusing. Um, Basically, it was like a family down in the Keys, I believe, and one of the brothers is a cop. The other brother just got back into town, and like he wants to be on the right side of the law. And they're having like a big family reunion. Like I said, one of them's kind of like the black sheep, and he comes into town, and just shit goes down. And then like they show at the end of the episode like some really fucked up shit. Like it's hard to explain, but they show they do like a flash forward where they show you like what's gonna happen later on in the show.
Okay.
And it's like the good brother places the black sheep brother in a boat and like blows it up. And it kind of like, wait, what? Like the whole episode that was the good guy, and now why would he do that kind of deal? And that's all I watched, but it was pretty good so far.
Huh.
There's like 3 seasons of that, so. But
Interesting.
yeah. So that was that. It's got like Kyle Chandler in it. I don't know if you know. He was in King Kong.
Okay.
And Ben Mendelsohn. He was in Rogue One and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you would recognize the actors.
Because I'm crap with names, but I know if I saw him, I'd be like, oh, that guy, yeah, he did that thing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, you know in The Dark Knight Rises where Bane goes up against that guy with his hands, and he's like, do you feel like you're in control?
Right. I paid you all this money. Oh, and that gives you power over me. That guy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in Rogue One too, like the main bad guy. but yeah, so that's really it. I've just been chilling. Oh, and I started playing Splatoon.
Really? Tell me what that's like. How is it? Does it live up to the not hype, because it's never been like crazy hyped, but it's.
Well, I've always been turned off by it because I always thought, oh, that just looks dumb. I'm not into first person shooters, which it's not. It's a third person shooter.
Right.
I thought, well, you're like painting and stuff like that. And then I watched the Giant Bomb quick play, and it looked fun as hell. And I guess I just turned off that part of my brain that says like, oh, that's not for me. I turned it off. I took a chance, downloaded it, and it's fun. The only stuff I've really done so far in it is kind of like the main, like, where you got to paint. Basically, it's a team, I think, of 4 on each side, and you got 4 on each side. You have different kind of guns, or you can get like a big paintbrush thing, a paint roller, and the goal is to fill up each side with the amount of paint. So like immediately you paint your first area. The rollers are going to go fast. They're going to roll through. You got your paint squirt gun thing. You're going to basically, the goal is to get as much paint on the map as possible while also killing the other team.
Okay.
And so they described it the best way I could think of. Well, I didn't think of it, but you know what I mean. The best I heard of it was this was like last year's Overwatch, which was like the year before's Rocket League.
Right. It's a simple premise, but it's just ridiculous fun.
It's ridiculous fun, and it's something you can jump in for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 4 hours, and pop out whenever you want, because it's not like you got to sit there and you're not in the middle of a dungeon, and you know what I mean? Like it's fun, it's dumb, it's there's a whole bunch of other modes like Salmon Run, which is like a what do you call it? When you join up with some people and you what do you call it? It's like a mob, like a horde mode. That's it. That's
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a horde mode where salmon come at you, and then there's like a boss. There's a whole single player thing apparently, where there's like you go through a level and there's a big boss at the end, and you got to figure out how to beat it. But it's dumb fun, and I'm getting better and better at it. Every level up, you get perks, and you get all this stuff you can equip, and you get like cash that you can buy upgrades with your guns. You can do duel at some point, and then so on and so forth. So it's really fun. I actually recommended it, and I've never played the first one, so I think the biggest complaint I saw reviewers give was it's just more of the first one. But if you've never played Splatoon, then it's just going to be fun. And so I've been playing a lot more of that than I thought I would. So like I'm just chilling watching TV, pop in Splatoon, and run around and paint the ground, and it's oddly therapeutic. Like it's oddly just relaxing, and I never feel mad or like oh no, they got me. I never feel like I got cheated or whatever. It's just dumb fun with paint, and it's beautiful. Like the game is gorgeous, and it's reminds me of like Nickelodeon with the splat and the all the stuff everywhere. It's very Nickelodeon like, and I love it. It's a lot of fun. So
Nice.
and it's cute. Like everything they say is a pun. Everything they do. And apparently, like I think every week there's like a you got to choose a side. I don't understand what the point of it is. I think if your side wins at the end of it, you get something. I don't understand. But like you can join Team Ketchup or Team Mayo this week.
Okay.
Right. And I think for like the beta it was like Team Cake, Team Ice Cream. And so like I don't understand it, so I'm not going to pretend like I do. But you just pick a side. So of course I joined Team Ketchup because
Well, yeah.
Ketchup's just Mayo's great, but it's ketchup's where it's at.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's fun, it's dumb, and if you have a Nintendo Switch and you're like, hey, there's not that many games out for it, get that. Also, I Am Setsuna's on it too, and it's a fantastic JRPG that I've been diving into. That's fun as well. We've talked about that before, right?
Yeah, I think a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I Am Setsuna. It's a classic JRPG, and it's on the Switch, and it's a blast. I think we're coming up against break, though, right?
Yeah, got a little under a minute here.
Okay, then I'll talk about that real fast. Yeah, it's so that's really what I've been playing on it, and it's just been oh, there's one more. I kind of went crazy. Street Fighter for the Switch.
Oh my god, the Ultra HD Super Final. Really, we mean it this time. We're not going to make any more editions of this particular game edition.
Exactly, and I don't want to talk about how much it costs because it's ridiculous, and I don't recommend anyone doing it. But that aside, it is Street Fighter. I got the updated graphics with the old audio because it's cool. You can switch it. Like you can do one or the. It doesn't have to be both at the same time. And it's fun. It's fast. It's Street Fighter. I mean, there's not much else to say about it besides if you like Street Fighter, it's a no-brainer. I would, the price is the big problem. I think a lot of people have, and understandably so.
Yeah.
But if you get past that and put that aside, if that's not an issue, then oh my god, is it fun?
Cool.
Let's take a quick break. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. We'll see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. And I've talked enough about the games and stuff I played, so we will. But man, there's so much fun. Oh, real fast. I've been just so in love with the Switch again. I don't think I've touched my PlayStation in like a week because I love how portable that damn thing is. It is. And the thing is, if you listeners, if you're wanting a Switch, it seems like every other day or every 3 days, it's becoming available on GameStop, on Walmart. Go follow Wario64 on Twitter. That's Wario, like the character. Wario64. He's on Twitter. He always posts when these things are available on GameStop, Walmart, even Kohl's when it was available. Every other day it's available at one of those sites. And I'm talking like the normal $2.99 or the $3.59 for the System Plus Zelda. So make sure you go follow that guy if you want to switch, because there's a lot of things coming. I think at the end of the month we get the Mario and Rabbids XCOM game, which I can't wait, dude. Have you seen any of that gameplay?
I have. It looks. That was the thing that when they announced it at E3, I was like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And then they showed the footage, and I'm like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. It looks awesome. Like, it's
I've watched the Kind of Funny guys play it, and they played like 2 maps, and like Luigi's a good sniper, and like all this it's just, and it looks like when he's collecting the coins, he's like, oh, that sounds good, and I know what he's talking about, because when you play those Mario games, the way it feels, the way it sounds, it's just, it's so good. I can't wait, dude. So yeah, that comes out in like a month, and we got Pokemon tournament and all that other Pokken tournament. And, oh man, definitely check that out. But let's get into the news, man. Let's see here. The Deadpool news. I'm totally gonna screw up her name, but Ryan Reynolds tweeted an image of, is it Zazie Beetz?
That's it. Yeah.
Zazie Beetz. Oh, that's such a fucking cool name, right?
Isn't that awesome?
Zazie Beetz as Domino. Have you seen this?
I have. It looked perfect.
Dope as hell. Dope as hell. Looked great. I like that she was laying on him as if he was a carpet.
Yeah, I think it was just
like a bear rug.
I think it was just the costume, though. I don't think he was actually in it.
Right. Oh, that's it. Yeah. That's right. Because he laid on a bear rug for like the first one or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So I thought it was great.
They did that with her laying basically on like what would be a Deadpool skin rug, which would just be the costume.
Oh yeah. I can't wait for Cable.
Yeah,
that's that's gonna look cool. Man, this movie's gonna be so much fun. Oh man, that's gotta be coming out what, next year?
I think it's
next year.
Yeah, I think it's next year sometime.
Yeah. Can't wait. I'll let you take this one because I know you're psyched for this.
Fuck you. Now see, the only good thing about this is that I thought he was going to star in it. Was what I thought I saw, but no, he's in an unspecified role. So I want him to star in it. My ass would be in the seats. He's starring in it. Could you imagine, like, if he shows up in? Oh man. Okay. Well, first off, the news here being that the Bumblebee film, the Transformers spinoff, has gained a new cast member that nobody can see. And I think that's bad for movies. Like, if you can't see somebody on screen, like, that's just awful.
Do you think he's gonna get like a camo thing in the movie where he's like, they can't see me?
Oh god, I hope not. I so hope not.
You know they're gonna make that joke. If they don't make that joke, they're doing something wrong. I'm sorry.
The only
as bad as Transformers is, if you're gonna be cheesy, be cheesy. At least be cheesy.
I mean, I guess, but here's the thing. All right, so this movie does well, fine, whatever, and then eventually they cross over with the main line. Could you just imagine? Just picture this: a Transformers film co-starring John Cena and Marky Mark.
Oh man.
Just think about that. Just hold that image in your mind for a minute. Is that not?
Yeah.
Is that not the most? Oh my God! Both of these guys tried to have rap careers, and now they're movie stars thing you've ever thought of in your life.
Hey, just 2 guys from Boston.
Oh God! Just. I don't know, man.
Hey, man, I say what you want. I like John Cena. The fact, remember, he's gonna be in Thor 3 in Ragnarok. Dude, I can't. Like, I want him in more roles where he's like a comedy, where it's like a joke almost. But it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a joke, but I like it when he knows how to make fun of himself.
He's odd. I will give him that. He's like everything. Like, watch him on SNL. He was ridiculously funny because he was just being a parody of every different aspect of himself, but in such a self-aware way. Like, he played it so straight, but it worked. And
I hear he's hilarious in the Tour de Pharmacy movie.
He's in Tour de Pharmacy. Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's like a HBO movie or something like that.
Yeah.
I've had like 2 friends be like, "You need to see this. This is hilarious. John Cena's funny in it."
Okay, put that on the list.
Imagine if we got in a world where it's just dumb Transformer movie after dumb Transformer Transformer movie. If we got just a really stupid, silly, self-contained Bumblebee movie, like Deadpool or something, but with John Cena, just ridiculous. I would love that. I would be okay with that.
I'm just worried that if they start giving John more mainstream roles, you know what we're gonna have. You know eventually we're going to have something that's going to co-star John Cena and Dwayne Johnson. You know it's going to happen.
I would love that.
I don't know.
Well, it's heading that route, right? I mean, John's. Look at The Rock when he first started. He was garbage.
Agreed.
And now, he's not like the best actor in the world, but he's decent. He's
found his niche. He found where he works. He's not gonna be, he's not gonna be a great drama actor. He's not, and he recognizes that. So he stays in what he does. He had to find it first. He had to go through the Scorpion King and the Tooth Fairy and figure it out. But now he's found that with being in every action movie in creation, plus Ballers, and so John, I'm not a part-timer in WWE, Cena is now also starting to head down that road.
Yeah, I think The Rock actually probably does his best acting in Ballers, but he's playing himself. But you know what I mean? Like, he's playing an exaggerated version of himself.
Right. It's his personality just cranked up. He's not really putting on a mask or anything like that.
Right. Exactly. But you're seeing more screen time of him in that. He's got like drug issues in that with pills and stuff. So like it's interesting. The reality of this one, unfortunately, is that it's probably not going to be a funny John Cena movie that I hope it would be. John Cena is probably going to take it very seriously, and it's going to be this. I just hope it's not like how they do the Transformer movies, where like it's serious and then you have like a joking racist robot, and then it's serious again, and it's never been fun like that. I liked it like the original Transformers movie where, I thought Shia LaBeouf did a great job, and it was a little bit funny, and at times it was a lot funny, and then after that it just went downhill. So I hope it's John Cena being the funny John Cena in this. But who knows? That's the only way I'd go see the movie.
Right. What was the one that he was in where that was like his breakout comedy performance? Was it Sisters?
Was that the one? I think I saw like a clip of that where like he was a drug dealer.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking. Because if that's what that's the movie that I want to watch to see. Because everybody's like, that was when they started saying, oh, John Cena could actually be in movies.
Oh yeah, he's hilarious in that. I haven't seen the movie, but I saw that clip and I was like, this is hysterical. This is some funny John Cena moments. And he did the Southpaw regional wrestling stuff. Like he's got it in him to be funny. So
yeah,
I'm glad he's getting away from like the WWE movies that it just seemed like he was doing.
Well, because they're crap. I mean, they are. It doesn't matter who you put in it; they're garbage.
Right. Yeah. What was he in of those? It was like
he was in the Marine. He was in 12 Rounds.
Yeah.
And I think that might have been it.
Yeah. Yeah, that is getting kind of away from that. He's becoming a big star. It's funny. He's mirroring what The Rock did, and I'm wondering who's going to be. Well, I guess they're setting up Roman to be the guy that calls him out, right?
I don't.
I don't want Roman in movies. Let's not go down this route.
Look, I'll tell you what. If they put Roman Reigns in movies and that keeps him away from WWE programming, then good. Put him in all the movies. I don't care.
That's true. That's true. But at least Cena does have some charisma when he gets in the ring. He knows how to talk to people.
Right.
Roman's just...
And he's, it's one thing that it's been his blessing and his curse of like he's been stuck in the middle because he can't go anywhere. So he's had to do the best that he could with what he had. And his promos were always great, but they were always just kind of so, they were so kind of peppy and upbeat. But every once in a while when he got to turn it on, man, his stuff with The Miz right before Mania was crazy.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Imagine if they let this John Cena now, with all these years of experience under his belt, his 15 years in WWE, give him a microphone and say, just go Be bad, be good, be we don't care, just go. It would be amazing. It would absolutely kill.
Oh yeah, did you see that? We'll talk about this now. We don't have to talk about video games. Did you see he's going to be like the special bundle character, whatever thing for the WWE 2K
for 2K18? Yeah, it's not surprising, really.
Yeah, so I guess he's signing like 25,000 like cards that's going to be sent out with these whatever they are, the $100 editions.
Yeah, the Cena Nuff bundle.
Right. Yeah. I don't get that. Why does it say Nuff?
I don't know.
I kept thinking like, because I Cena, that was the time period where I didn't really watch wrestling, and is Nuff like a phrase of his?
I don't know. I guess maybe because we've seen enough of John Cena.
Oh, I hope that's it. I hope that's what it is.
Props to John for all the company work he does. Man, he's been, in every connotation, good and bad, he's been a company man, and
right.
It's insane. I listened to him on somebody's podcast, maybe it was Stone Cold's, years ago, talking about how WWE was looking to break into China, and he took it on himself to start learning Mandarin. And I was like, well, damn, that's crazy. I would kill to see that happen. And then what? Like when they announced, around the time of the Cruiserweight Classic, they signed, was it Ho Ho Lun, I think, who was from China? And they had like a big press event over there for their expansion in the Chinese market. And John got up and gave that speech in Mandarin. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like that's,
Oh, he's a workhorse. There's no doubt about that. When him and AJ Styles were doing their thing, and he was speaking the truth about a lot of it. Like he's like, look, dude, I might not be here, but I am flying to Hong Kong. I'm flying to New York. I'm doing 6 of these children things like in a day, and then I'm doing this and I'm doing that. So like, even though he's not necessarily in the ring, he's working every day for that company.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So yeah, no, props to him. That's awesome. And so if you're a big Cena fan, go get the super duper edition of 2K18. But fuck, I'm getting it on the Switch because I can't wait to be playing wrestling wherever I have the damn thing, because that's gonna be fun. Anytime a game comes out, I'm like, oh, is it gonna be on the Switch? It's gonna be on the Switch. Yes. Like Sonic Mania comes out in a few days, and that looks like it was made for the Switch.
Yeah, it does.
Which is awesome. So, yeah, dude. So, all right, let's get back on track. Sorry about that. The Pokemon the movie I Choose You film is getting a limited run in theaters on November 5th and 6th.
Yeah, it's through Fathom Events. They're doing another one of those things. I'm not gonna go see it because this is some revisionist history bullshit. So
that's what I heard.
Yeah, there's no Brock, no Misty. It's like, hey, remember how Ash started out? Okay, forget that, because we're going to tell the story all over again, totally different.
It doesn't make sense.
Well, because...
Why would they do that?
Well, because, that was 20 years ago. So,
yeah, but why would they redo it without, like, characters that people love?
Because if
anything, you're going to get more people in the seats with those two characters.
I would think... But I don't know. I guess their thinking is we've already sold all their merchandise. We can make some new toys to sell, I guess.
Yes. I don't know. Spoiler alerts, I hear Pikachu talks in it.
Oh, no. Please, God, no.
Which is weird as shit.
No, come on. No.
He does. He talks in it. He doesn't just say Pika. He says, like, words. Yeah, I don't know. I won't say anything else because then it is a big spoiler. But he apparently talks in it.
I don't know. Nobody wants that.
Well, hey, at least it's not a Detective Pikachu movie, right? God, every time I see that, I'm like, why couldn't you give it to Max Landis?
Just
I heard him pitch a Jar Jar movie the other day. Because he was on this thing and he was asked, if you could do a Star Wars movie, who would you do? And he was like, I would do a Jar Jar movie because I know that would be that's the one character that they think that no one could make a film about. and his premise was, he goes, imagine Jar Jar is like down and out. He's in a bar. You don't really see him, but you see a character sitting at the bar, and she's like, I don't know anyone else to go to, and I need to get this kid safely to, and this is set like where I guess after Return of the Jedi, and where like Luke, everything's free or whatever, and like she needs to get this kid to Luke, and she's like, I don't know what else to do. There's still people hunting down these Jedi, and I can't go to get in, like basically she's freaking out, and like the bartender goes, this guy's nothing. He screws everything up. Why in the world would you trust him? And then like he's like, and then you just look at Jar Jar, and he goes, eyes to do it or something like that, and it pans to the movie, a Jar Jar Binks movie. And I thought I would love to see that movie, a Jar Jar Binks helping this mom take her Jedi son through deep, like this shitty space to take him to where Jedis can learn and stuff like that. So
you would
the Jedi training temple. I was like, that would be a cool movie. I would watch that.
You would be the only one.
Well, he said no, come on. Well, I'm sorry, I screwed up what he was saying. He goes, imagine Old Man Logan, but with Jar Jar Binks.
Well, okay, first of all, Logan was cool. And
I know, but imagine like down and out Jar Jar Binks that's serious. And
Jar Jar can't be serious.
I think it'd be great. When I pictured, I just saw Old Man Logan, but with Jar Jar Binks' face. I said, yep, I'd go buy that. I'd go watch that in a heartbeat.
No, just no.
All right. Well, we got to take a break. When we get back, we'll get more into news. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. We'll see you in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. And we're going to move on from Old Man Jar Jar to
Old Man Binks. Yeah,
there you go. Old Man Binks.
Yes.
Oh, it'd be so good.
No,
man, I'd love to see that. Give me a book or comic or something.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I'll give you a 6-issue comic.
There you go. It could be done. That's the thing, is Jar Jar Binks was placed in someone's hands who thought an audience wanted one thing and they really didn't. A redemption story for him but would be fantastic.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Nobody wants to see him redeemed.
I don't know. No, I don't know. You know what? Hayden Christensen showed up this year, and people openly loved and welcomed him to, and people hated him. People hated him for Anakin and all that other stuff. But I think we are so far past it at this point that the fans that are going to open up their arms again are doing it. There's always going to be those fans that are going to openly be vile towards everything that's the prequels. But I think certain people are coming around because Disney has treated Star Wars with a lot of love and a lot of respect, and we're finally living in a world where now we're going to be getting what looks like fantastic Star Wars movies and games and books every year. By the way, the Battlefront book came out. I haven't checked it out yet, but I need to read it.
Yeah, I haven't either. But yeah, it came out last week, I think, right?
Last week, yeah. Inferno Squad, but we live in a world where we're past that, and I think we're so far past that a lot of fans are going, you know what? It happened, and you can look back and smile, or you can be mad at it. And I honestly think that if there was a comic about Jar Jar Binks and it was done decently, it could be well received. It would just have to be done right. That's all. They're fictional characters. If we do it right, they would be great.
Yeah, but
obviously they weren't done right, at the beginning.
True, but I mean, here's the thing. Jar Jar wasn't somebody who, we're introduced to him as a screw up that nobody likes, and he never, in the 3 movies that he's in, he never redeems himself. He screws up after screws up after screws up until the point where he wrecks the galaxy. It's his fault.
To be fair,
I don't want to be fair to Jar Jar.
They were in the same hands for those films, and he was never given the chance to redeem himself because they didn't want to write anything to do with him. He got up and said a speech one time, and that was it. And then he was shown crying, when she died. So, but I think a good writer could, it would be years beyond what happened.
Sure.
He would be an old man. His character would have grown and changed. I think if done right, you could totally have an Old Man Binks comic that could be decent, where he is, think about it. He's one of the only people in the universe that knows that Anakin is now Darth Vader. Right? He's one of the only few people.
He doesn't.
I think he does from the Clone Wars. I think he realizes it at some point.
Huh. I don't know. I'll tell you what. All right. So if Dan Slott does a Old Man Binks comic, then fine. 6 issues. Make it work.
Yeah, I think it would work. I think it would be cool. I absolutely do. I'd like a Scott Snyder one. I think he could do it. 6 issues, him and Greg Capullo. It would look beautiful. Look, they did a comic with Chewbacca, and it was awesome.
Yeah, but Chewbacca was awesome. You wanted to root for Chewbacca.
But he just roars, you know?
But
so...
I would rather...
Make him old, make him bitter, and make him like, you know what, I need to do this one thing. It's not going to redeem all of the mistakes I've ever made, but if I could save this one kid's life, then it would mean something. And I think that would be an awesome story. I'm sorry, we're getting so hot.
I so don't want that. I found the title for the episode, though. It's going to be Old Man Jar Jar, just to see how many people click on that and go, what?
Yeah,
what?
Exactly.
It's a total clickbait title, but I don't care because I think it's... I don't know, man. I don't know.
We got to send a letter to Marvel.
Sure, yes.
We do. I think I'm going to do it. I might just send a video. I might record myself and say, listen.
Go for it.
No, yeah, Marvel owns the rights, not DC. Okay, so I'll have to pick a writer for that. Maybe Brian Michael Bendis. He's a good writer.
Yeah, I still say Dan Slott. I think he can do it.
Yeah, Dan Slott too, yeah.
Because Jar Jar, and here's where I'm going to get in trouble for a little blasphemy. The kind of lightheartedness of a Jar Jar would be a little Spider-Man-ish. And a darker side of it superior. Like that's why I thought of him. It was like, well, there's here's a character that's part whimsical, part bitter cynic. If that's what you want to go with, then I think that's probably your man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess that's why I said Brian Michael Bendis too, because I was thinking Uncanny or Ultimate Spider-Man. Yeah. So we were on the same page, just different universe.
Yeah. You're in a galaxy far, far away, man.
Exactly. So yeah, we need to get that to Marvel. All right, and that would make news. I mean, I think that would make news. That would make comic book nerds. They would buy that in a heartbeat, I think, because they'd be like, okay, this is the new weird thing this month. I gotta check it out. I gotta see what this is about.
I don't know. What would you title it though? Would it? Because you can't just call it Jar Jar, because that's not gonna hook anybody.
They could totally just do Old Man Jar Jar. They own the rights to Old Man Logan.
True.
There's no reason they could not do or Old Man Binks. They could totally call it that if they wanted to. And they know their audience. They know their audience would be like, yes, I get it. I totally get it. Make it just a little bit dark and man, that would make a great 6-issue trade. That would be perfect.
Don't worry, Nisa get you past these stormtroopers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, God.
Oh man. Yes. Or what's the gang in Force Awakens?
Which one? There's 2. There's a Kanji Club, and then there's
Kanji Club. They gotta get him through the Kanji Club. I'm telling you, it'd be great. It writes itself. And have him save the day, and you could have him die at the end. You could give him a good death.
You see, and now the interesting thing is, I actually wouldn't want that.
Or maybe not kill him.
Yeah, I don't think you kill him. I think if you're going to do that, you have him succeed, and then he gets kind of a mediocre ever after.
Yeah, there you go.
I would think if you're going to do it that way. Don't give him some heroic giant send-off, because nobody wants to see that. Like, and then he got a noble death. Well, fuck that. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see this in the first place. But if you're going to do it...
yeah. I think it'd be great. And it would be just such a full circle with him taking a kid to save him to Luke, you know. So,
yeah, fair. That's
right.
true. It's a nice element too. It's a nice touch.
It would be. I think it'd be awesome.
Oh god.
You know, and have Luke meet him. Like, how crazy would that be?
Yeah.
I don't know how long Gungans can live, but
well, I mean, you know, you're talking what oh hell, what's the timeline from the end of was it 30? It's 30 years from 3 to 7, right? Or from 3 to 6, and then it's another 30 from 3 to 7. So what, call it 35 years later? Like not you know, maybe just a couple of years after Jedi.
Yeah, just a couple of years. It doesn't have to be like the New Order time frame. It could be we're still there is the Empire out there. It's still dangerous. But Luke is just starting up the school again, and it's like, okay, we know that's out there. We got to get the kid there, and man, that would be great. I would love that. I would eat that up. I'd read that in a heartbeat. I'd buy every issue in the trade.
Oh,
because that's different. That's different. But what sucks right now about the Star Wars comics, I love them, but they all take place between the same time period, and I want more Force Awakens type stuff. I want to know stuff beyond Return of the Jedi, you know, and we're not getting that. It's all taking place within the same era, and I want it. I want some different stuff.
I don't think we're gonna start getting that until this current trilogy gets wrapped, because I think a lot of what would go into those comics is stuff that they want to cover in the films.
Right. I guess just I want something different. It could be you know, we got the Dr. Afra. Sorry. Dr. Afra. I love her stuff. That's the best Star Wars stuff that's out right now. And it's like crossing over with Star Wars, yada, yada, yada. But she's an amazing new character, and it's fun. More stuff like that. Give me more characters that I don't know anything about, and you can do anything with. You can kill them, you can do whatever, and it doesn't have a big affecting thing with the Skywalker story, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that they could all be killed or all live. Nothing really matters in it, and so that would be really cool. But all the stuff we're getting is like these characters in the original trilogy. We know their story. We know that they can't die. And there's no, I don't know. They went through their Lando book, which is probably the best out of all of them. They did their C-3PO one shot. They did a Han Solo book. You know what I mean? Like they've done these small things. I want like the Dr. Alpha one is the best out of all of them.
Yeah.
Currently right now, but give me something new. I know we're gonna get a Thrawn one, right?
Yeah, he's gonna get a comic too. It's gonna follow like the same. It's gonna be set around the same time as the book was.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm afraid of. Like, I don't want a comic book adaptation of a book I already read.
Yeah, but I mean, there was so much space in that book too between things, so you've got room to work with for sure.
That's true. Yeah. So, all right. Well, we've gone into Star Wars comics talk.
Give me the Old Republic. Canonize some of that and say, all right, you know what? You want different stories. You know what does really well? The Old Republic. Just drop the logo at like a Marvel Comics panel or something somewhere. Just a revised, updated logo, and you know, pick. I don't care who's in it. I don't care what it is, but set some stuff because you've got all that history. You have limitless history before the prequels to touch on. So dig in, man. There's no reason to keep retreading the same 60-year stretch. You've got You've got hundreds, if not thousands, of years of history you can mine. So do that instead.
I agree. I totally agree. KOTOR comic, KOTOR book series, KOTOR video games. Like give me something out of that universe. Out of that part of the universe. Absolutely, dude. 100% agree. I'm wondering why they don't do that. They're probably just Disney's probably like, well, what do we bring in from this? Because it's a lot. That's a lot of stuff. Yeah,
there's a ton to sift through. I'll give them that. But
yeah. I mean, it's not like It's not like they mention the word KOTOR, or they do a movie or a game or a comic that it makes all of it canon. It only makes what's in that series canon. So they can definitely pick and choose from that. They don't have to mean the lightsaber colors don't have to mean a certain thing. You know what I mean? Like, they can pick and choose what they want.
Right.
And I would be perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So let's get into the TV news. I'll let you take this one.
Yeah. So we got so far off track. I've got to reload my notes. Yeah, I thought this was awesome. Because ESPN's doing a lot of wrestling centric 30 for 30s. Like they did the XFL, and I know they did one a while back on like NXT. I know it centered a lot around Adam Rose, and that turned out to be a disaster. But
Big Cass was a part of it too. He was a big part of it.
True, very true.
Yeah.
But so now they're gonna do one for Ric Flair, and it's gonna be called Nature Boy, and it comes out November 7th.
That's awesome.
And that's gonna be cool. I can't wait, because that's a story that I definitely want to know about.
I saw him hanging out at Post Malone's house on Instagram the other day.
Really?
Jeez, like what? Like, what is going on?
Well, I mean, come on, man. He's Ric Flair. He was OG before there were G's to be O. Like, that's
absolutely.
I mean,
I love that Post Malone. Like, Post Malone's a legit wrestling fan too. Like, he has a Stone Cold Steve Austin vest that he wears on stage. You see, like, it's in some of his lines too.
Nice.
But yeah, I thought that was fantastic, because it showed him in a picture. They must have met, because it showed him like meeting him, and then like a week or two later he's at his house.
Nice.
Like, comparing pinky rings. It was ridiculous. Yeah, he's gonna be cool. I saw him in like a sneaker thing. Like, he's into shoes and stuff.
Okay.
It's ridiculous. He's in a ton of debt though.
Yeah.
Because of his divorces, so I'm sure they'll dive all into that.
Yeah.
But man, did he live the gimmick?
And that kind of was the problem, I think.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. How much cocaine do you think they did back then?
Oh man, 70s, 80s wrestling. I mean that would have put like old. I mean, these are guys that probably would have looked at Scarface face planting into his desk and just looking at him and going, amateur.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
whenever I see his promos, Macho Man's promos, I'm just like, God, holy crap. There was no wellness policy back then, obviously.
No, there wasn't. But think about what it led to. Go on YouTube and watch some of Savage's promos. They're amazing, right. And not because they're just ridiculous gibberish. Those are Ultimate Warrior's promos. Right. Some of Randy Savage's mic work
clever.
Is some of the best. It's been so long since we've seen anything really like that. I mean, we see snippets now and again, but if you want to really come up in this business, study that kind of mic work. There's guys like Heyman and Cena who can carry it on the mic, and even Daniel Bryan, modern day.
Enzo's great.
And Enzo's damn good.
Yeah.
But get a little of the retro flavor into it. Well, watch Macho Man stuff. It's equal parts creative and just balls. Like, there's just that charisma there. It's insane.
He has these little moments of just it's his comedy that he puts into it.
Yeah.
And it's the timing that he just nails, where, the cream of the crop and the just the little things, like the one with like Elizabeth, where he catches someone looking at her, and and just or the stuff with him and Hogan. It's just absolutely, they're like, the way I see it, this is gonna really sound weird, but it's like the Muppets. Like, the way he does it, the timing has to be perfect for it to work. And it is. It's absolutely perfect. Yeah. Especially, like I said, the cream of the crop, where he kept putting it on Mean Gene's head. And, it was just perfect. It was just absolutely perfect.
That promo, the cup of coffee promo, is just, you're like, these things don't make any sense. And then as he keeps building as he keeps going through the promo, he just keeps building these things, and suddenly you see just the absolute genius in it, and it's crazy.
Oh yeah, the madness in his glasses is just perfect. It's top notch. So yeah, and especially with Ric Flair, holy crap, did that guy put on a promo?
Yeah.
Well, we got to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get more into the news. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. We'll see you guys all in a minute.
Dig it.
Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. When we left, we were talking about the Nature Boy. He's going to be on 30 for 30, November 7th. Go ahead and take the next one here. I don't know much about this.
Yeah, this was awesome, and I think this was a Comic-Con panel. There was a documentary that I know I've talked about endlessly because I love it. It's called I Know That Voice. And it's about voice actors and blah, blah, blah. It's on Netflix. Go watch it. It's amazing. But there's all of those interviews. They cut that documentary from what they said was like 160 hours of interviews.
Holy cow.
Yeah. And so they kind of came around and they were like, well, you know what? That's a shit ton of material to just not use. So they're working on ways to cut that together, and they're going to turn it into a series, into a documentary series.
Wow.
And there's no home for it or anything yet that I saw. I would almost imagine it goes on Netflix, because it's that. I mean, that's where the documentary really found its legs. Like, it did okay on like iTunes and Amazon and all that, but once it got on Netflix, it really popped. But no word on that yet, at least that I saw. And it's not gonna premiere until they're saying like the end of next year.
Oh wow.
Well, because I mean, just with all that, if they've really got 160 hours of talking to John DiMaggio and Kevin Conroy and West and just all these people, and June Foray, rest in peace, just all those people. If you haven't seen it, it's a fascinating documentary. I know you've seen it. I've seen it like 8 times.
Yeah.
I love it. It's great, and it's just so damn much fun. And it's it touches on my favorite. Because I love this stuff. I love voiceover work. I love voiceover artists and actors, and they've got just 160. I'm glad that they're saying, we've got all this material. We need to release it. That's awesome. That's great. And I imagine the editing process is just an absolute mountain to climb. And how many of those stories do they have to edit out on top of putting them all together?
Right. Oh yeah. That'd be really cool. I'd love to see that on Netflix, dude.
So I can't wait for that. That's gonna be awesome. I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh hell yeah, dude. Oh yeah, excuse me, sorry about that. All right. Let's see here, dude. Okay, so I saw this news. You take this because this is weird. For decades, for probably 25 years at least, they've been trying to figure out a way to make a live action Stretch Armstrong film. It's kind of one of those things that you hear kicked around. Every screenwriter in Hollywood has a story about it. That they've been they've pitched for it, they've been asked to pitch for it. Every single one of them has a story about it. That's how insane this project has been. They finally decided to say, screw the live action. We're gonna make it animated, and we're gonna make it a kids show. So it's gonna be like a Ben 10 animation style Netflix show. It's going to be called Stretch Armstrong. I got to read this because it's funny. It's Stretch Armstrong and the Flex Fighters. It's the first Hasbro property like that to be developed like this. And it is. It's going to be an animated show. It's you can imagine. Oh, it's him and this crew, and they fight evildoers and blah 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 blah. It's fine, whatever. They've ordered a 26 episode season for Netflix that's going to run. So it's one of those things where finally they decided to get out of their own way and say, we can't do this the way that we've wanted to do it for probably since the toy came out. Right.
So now they're like, well, you know what? If we just if we erase live action feature film off the board, what ideas does that open us up to? And somebody finally figured out how to do this. So, God bless them. That's going to be a story that you'll hear whispered everywhere. Like, they finally got this. Did you hear about this? Yeah. Did you see? This was how they finally did it.
Yeah, man. So I bet we'll see those on toy shelves pretty soon.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding? As a way to to revitalize that? I mean, those are, those are, by the time that comes around, I mean, that's for our generation's kids. So, I mean, Stretch Armstrong kind of skipped us. Barely.
Right.
Like that would have been for like my older brother around his time. So it's almost going to be like our grandparents are going to be looking, or our parents are going to be looking at their grandkids. Like, oh, I remember Stretch Armstrong. And that's how they're going to bond, So, they figured out a way to make it work. So, good for them.
Yeah, that's cool. And
I like the idea. It's a simple, fun, kid show idea. I like it.
Yeah, no, I could totally see that working. Superheroes are so in right now, so that's perfect. Oh yeah. And we got Jon Stewart, the comedian, not the Green Lantern.
Not the Green Lantern. Although.
Yep. We'll have 2 stand-up specials on HBO in the near future.
Yeah. The only, interestingly enough, the only stand-up special he ever did for HBO was his first ever stand-up special back in, I want to say, 96.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. So, like, that was his, and then, he jumped on to, Comedy Central said, holy shit, this guy's funny, sign him, pretty much. I mean, it wasn't that simple, but more or less.
Right. I'm surprised he not doing it on Netflix.
Well, he and his company had that deal with HBO for like the half-hour animated Daily Show-ish kind of show, and that got scrapped. So I think this was kind of their way of salvaging that deal.
Yeah.
And I think this is HBO trying to fight back, maybe not directly against Netflix, but maybe catch the wave of a revitalized stand-up scene. Because that was part of HBO's bread and butter for years. They still have that whole section on HBO of stand-up specials, and you watch and you're like, oh my god, it's half an hour of like original Patton Oswalt or Lewis Black back in the day, or just it's they've got this library of stand-ups that we know now, who by now are iconic or gone on to do so many other things, but 25 years ago, it was like, oh my god, this was their, it was kind of like their version of what Comedy Central Presents wound up being, where it's like, here's half an hour of this person who's got enough traction to warrant, half an hour, but they're not big yet, tragedies like Dane Cook come to mind, that kind of thing.
Oy vey, absolutely.
But I don't think they're trying to compete per se. Like, it doesn't seem like they're trying to say, no, we're going to be the kings of stand-up. They're, even in their press release, they were like, we recognize this is a re-emerging market.
Right.
So they're just like, hey, we used to be big on this, we should do this again, kind of thing. Which, cool, I'm down, do it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, more, man. That's some of my favorite things going on to like Netflix and just picking a random comedian and watching a special. I haven't done that in so long, and I did it the other day. It's pretty funny.
You see some weird stuff, man, and some stuff like I'd never heard of Jim Jeffries before. Yeah. And then I turned his stuff on, and I was like, how have I not heard of this guy? Same thing with Anthony Jeselnik. He's probably my new favorite comedian. I watched his, and I was just like, this guy is just ridiculous. It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, same with Bert Kreischer.
Yeah.
The machine.
The machine.
His stories are great. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, let's see here. Let's pivot into some video game news.
Sure.
We got some PS Plus games announced for August. Just Cause 3 for the PlayStation 4. Assassin's Creed, Freedom Cry, PlayStation 4, Super Motherload, PS3, Snakeball, PS3, Downwell, PS Vita, Cross-Buy, PS4, Level 22, PS Vita. So, Just Cause 3, I played the first one. It was a lot of fun. I heard this one's fun, but the frame rate just blows.
Well, and I mean, that was early on, too. I've got to believe they fixed it by now. Did they fix it? They have to have. This was, a couple of years ago? They've got to have fixed it by now.
Yeah. Let's hope. Yeah. Epic Fix, great. It looks like a ton of fun.
Yeah, Just Cause 3 was that sandbox, blow the shit out of everything kind of game that was... I loved it because it's just even if you just play the story mode straight through, it's still just insane fun. It's ridiculous, and it's more fun. It's one of those where it's kind of like with Saints Row 3, where like the fun was to just do whatever the hell you wanted. Basically, it was a little more like Mercenaries that way, where the fun was in just causing complete and total chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, so that's PlayStation Plus Game of the Month, so can't wait for that. The other ones I never really played any, like Freedom Cry. Wasn't that a Vita game?
I think, and then they ported it, maybe? I don't know. I don't really remember this one all that well.
Yeah. Super Motherload, Snakeball, Downwell, and plenty of them. But we got the Xbox games for gold in August. Xbox One, Slime Rancher, from the 1st to the 31st. Runbow from the 16th of last month to the 15th of this month. Trial Fusions, 16th of this month to the 15th of next month. Why are these dates all weird?
Well, because, they do one game for the whole month, and then they do one that's like the back half of...
That's weird.
Yeah, like they're all for a month, but some of them start on the 1st and run a whole month, and some of them will start the 16th and run a month. So
that's weird.
I know they're bizarre, but they've always done it that way.
Yeah. All right. The 360 backwards compatible. Wait, what? Oh, boy. I'm gonna butcher this. Bonita.
Bayonetta, man.
Bayonetta.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with the hair. Yeah. The 1st through the 15th. And Red Fraction Armageddon, the 16th through the 31st.
Yeah. So cool. I mean, not a bad backwards compatible list. Trial Fusions is a lot of fun, so that one's not bad. I think PlayStation kind of wins this month, though, just for Just Cause 3. Because that was, that was a big title, and I hope they fix the frame rate issues. I'd forgotten about that. But, if they have, then there's no, they've got this month hands down, then, if that's the case.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. And we got some bad news for you. If you pre-ordered the SNES Classic Edition like I did, you received an email telling you that it was canceled.
Yeah, because Walmart done fucked up.
Yep. Oh, that was... And I was like, okay, can I get this? Can I not get this? Blah, blah, blah. And the last second, I was able to, and it sucked to get that email.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, we didn't mean to do that.
Yeah. Whew, ton of anxiety, and oh man. Yeah, so apparently they're going to be doing it later this month.
Yeah.
So make sure you follow Wario64 on Twitter.
There you go.
I shouldn't say that, you're going to get mine. But yeah, no, go follow him on Twitter. I guarantee you. Set it to alert your phone. It sucks because I've been getting alerts. It doesn't make a noise, but it's on my it pops up. And he posts stuff all day long, but they're this is on sale here and there, whatever. And yeah, it's going to be at the end of this month, so stay on your toes. They're just like the Walmart one. There's probably going to be a good 30, 40 minutes, if we're lucky, of a time span. So good luck to you
right.
in getting it. And if you don't get it, you can always get a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. But there's that. Yeah. So, we got a few minutes left here. Do you want to take some of this extra news here?
Yeah. Let me jump down a little. Actually, we'll do the last 2 bits here.
All right.
I thought this was bizarre. In the world of mergers this week, we had a couple big ones. Sony, for all intents and purposes, pretty much bought out Funimation. They bought a 95% share. Why they didn't buy the other 5%, I don't know. I was not a business major. I'm sure there's a perfect business reason for it, but whatever. They paid $143 million for it. So yeah, that puts.
So that's why they don't make computers anymore, huh?
Yeah, right.
What are they going to do with this, you think?
I don't know. Roll it into the PS Plus service, maybe?
Oh, that would be great. Is there like a Funimation app where you pay a certain amount and you get to see like...
There is... I don't know. Because I keep thinking of Crunchyroll.
Right, there's Crunchyroll. Funimation is...
They're the distributor.
They're the distributor. So
yeah.
I wonder if like... That's the only reason I think they would do it.
Yeah.
Right? Is if they can make some sort of service out of it.
I guess.
It's kind of on PlayStation or with PS Plus. Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. Watch like every new episode of Dragon Ball Z or something, or Super.
Right.
That'd be fantastic.
Let me look. There's gotta be an app, right? No?
I think there's a Funimation app on the PlayStation.
There may be, but I mean, I know the big thing is they're the distributor, so I don't know. I guess that's just so they have a stake in that pipeline, maybe. I don't know. It seems to me like they bought a studio, basically.
Right.
Like they but I don't know. I admit to a lot of ignorance about anime and how that side of everything works.
Oh yeah, me too. Totally. Yeah, there's a Funimation app. I don't know if it's free or if there's a monthly charge.
Right.
Watch ad-free anime in HD anytime, anywhere. Oh yeah, with your favorite devices, Funimation Premium subscription. So yeah. So, yep. So I guess they're gonna probably go to war with Crunchyroll. But like you said, I know Crunchyroll has like the subtitle ones. I know like I think they have dubs. I don't know. You're right. We probably shouldn't pretend like we know anything about this.
Yeah.
But that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's a bit of interesting news.
Yeah. This other one, real quick, not huge like geek news really, but I thought this was fascinating. The Discovery Communications company, Discovery Channel, ID, all that stuff, bought Scripps Networks, which is HGTV and Food Network and Cooking Channel and like 2 or 3 others. So all of those ones that were in the same block on your TV are now going to be owned by the same company. So
I thought they already were.
See, I think that's probably why they bought them, because a lot of people thought that.
Right.
But anyway, they paid $11.9 billion for that deal.
So, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. So now we're going to have the Science of Food Network, I guess.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, get Alton Brown to host it. Why not?
There you go. We got to take quick... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying he'd do it. He'd do it in a heartbeat.
Oh, absolutely. We got to take a quick break. When we get back, got a little bit more news, and then we will jump into our topic, which is Game of Thrones. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. We'll talk to you guys. We'll see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. We got a little bit more news to talk about. I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, this was I don't want to say this was sad news, because it wasn't like it wasn't that sad, but it was just kind of sort of marked the end of an era. Andrea Romano, who is a voice casting director, has decided she's going to retire. She's been doing this for like 25 years, I think, something like that. And she finally decided to hang it up. She is responsible for pairing up so many of the voices, putting together so many of the casts that shaped a lot of our childhoods. Everything from Batman the Animated Series to Avatar and Legend of Korra. Basically everything, like the Spielberg animation, Tiny Toons, Animaniacs, Freakazoid, Pinky and the Brain, all that stuff. Even going back to like the Snorks and A Pup Named Scooby-Doo and reboots, like going all the way back that far.
Mm-hmm.
And doing, even moving forward, basically anything DC animated, pretty much she was the casting director for. All the way up to, and I think like the last thing that she did was actually the Voltron series on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
She put that together. So, that gave us, think of, if nothing else, the Batman the Animated Series cast, Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill and Tara Strong, and just, the list goes on and on. It's a hell of a career. And
oh yeah.
And not, not just to have a job in the entertainment business that long, but one that's done that she did with that with that high level of professionalism and that kind of perfect ear for not just who sounded best in a role, but who could act.
Right.
Voice acting is about so much more than just being okay. Can you sound like a 5-year-old? It's can you sound like this 5-year-old who has asthma and is prone to sporadic episodes of Tourette's? That's it's not that easy. And so to
like Tara Strong.
Exactly. It's insane that Janet Varney as Cora, it's just you think of the Animaniacs on top of that, and just to think about all of these shows that we all watched growing up, and to know that those casts were largely assembled, and she would say that there was a team and so on and so on, because she had that professionalism. But it's amazing the career that she's had, and she's done podcasts. She's done a few episodes of different podcasts. I don't know if she did one for the Nerdist or not. She might have, but I know there was they were all kind of similar. I think she did an episode of Fat Man on Batman, I want to say. But just listen to her tell stories about all this. She worked on the animated Jetsons movie, the one that they did years after, and she directed the original voice cast for that, for if it was I think it was the animated movie, and the voice of George Jetson, whose name escapes me for a moment, died during a recording session.
Oh wow!
And to hear her tell that story is just it's amazing. And
that's crazy.
It's nuts. And these, she mentioned at one point she'd be working on a book after she retired, and I will be first in line to get that. I don't care. Send me wherever she's going to do a signing for it. I will camp out for that, no question. It's just because it's got to be a fascinating story of just not just how she got started, but all the little, how many things we don't know and how many things we may even never know, but there's, if you can find podcasts that she's been on, her, just her story is incredible, and the stories she has to tell about some of the recording sessions are just are either touching or hysterical, but they're, it's proof that there's so much more that goes into cartoons than what people think. I always go back to somebody I heard at Full Sail. We had somebody in class who could imitate a voice, and somebody was like, you should go into cartoons. I was like, it's not that simple. It's just not that easy. And anytime I get a chance to mention that, I'm going to, because it speaks to the idea, how long have these shows lasted? How iconic have these characters been? I mean, Mark Hamill's Joker isn't everlasting because he was Luke Skywalker. It's because he owned that role.
Right.
I mean, Kevin Conroy's Batman is iconic because of his performance. It's that's what you get when you've got the kind of casting director and voiceover director that Andrea Romano was. So just, a tip of the hat to her, and a glass raised for a hell of a career.
Absolutely.
And thank you, Andrea, for putting together, so many fantastic casts that we all grew up with and fell in love with, and made so many of these cartoons what they were. And as soon as she writes that book, I'm telling you, I will be the first one there. No question.
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. That sounds so interesting. That's awesome, dude. Did she say she hasn't written it yet? Right? She's doing it.
She mentioned in one podcast interview she did, because I think somebody mentioned it, and I'm pretty sure she was on the Nerdist, because I think it was Chris that said, "Have you ever thought about writing a book?" And I think her thing was, as when I retire. That's
all right,
when
I gotta go
write
listen
it.
to that.
It's
By the way, did you have you seen any of his new show, Talking with Chris Hardwick?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Well, hey, I don't want to jump off the topic real fast.
No, go for it. What you got?
So he has a show on AMC on Sundays called Talking with Chris Hardwick.
Okay.
If you love podcasts, this is your show, because essentially what they did is they took his Nerdist podcast and they put it on television for an hour. So it's not like they come and they're there to promote anything. They're just there to talk for an hour, and he basically does his podcast with a live studio audience. It's on the podcast. Like, the way I found out about it is I'm subscribed to the Nerdist for my podcast. I saw Damon Lindelof, because I don't listen to all of them, but I saw Damon Lindelof's name, and I thought, oh my god, I love Damon Lindelof, of course, Lost. And I started listening to the podcast, and then I heard people laughing. I thought, are they in front of a live studio audience? Because normally it's just them sitting in their home.
Right.
And it was the same feeling. He's talking about Lost. He's talking about things that I, super fan, have never heard of before. And he was talking about his insecurities and how scared to death he was when they did the pilot. And they were like, okay, do 23 more of these. And he's just petrified, because he's like, we got to explain this polar bear, and stuff like that. He talks about meeting Tom Cruise for the first time. Like, he went and sat down with J.J. Abrams, and Tom Cruise was in the office, and Tom Cruise had a vanilla folder full of all of the Lost script and stuff like that, and he was like, "This is phenomenal! The polar bear and the blah blah blah." And he goes, "I didn't know how to greet him, so I just said, 'Hey, Tom,'" and he just talks about how he got noticed because he was in a forum. I forgot what the forum was, but he was just a writer. Long story short, he is us. He is the guy who watched and obsessed over television shows and would go online and post about it before, Facebook groups and stuff like that were a thing, where there were forums. And, he went from one job to another. I think he did Nash Bridges and stuff like that. And then he got noticed, and he did Alias. Or no, he wanted to do Alias. And that's what got him in front of J.J. Abrams, because he really wanted to do Alias. But they were like, no, he's actually doing this thing called Lost. It was originally supposed to be a Survivor. They wanted to do a show about Survivor. But J.J. Abrams, of course, changed it and made it about, if there was this big mystery. So I don't know, man. It was super cool and super interesting, and I'm so glad it's on television. I'm going to start watching it now.
Nice.
Because it's basically the Nerdist podcast, but for an hour. I think they have Jane Lynch on this week. They've talked to Elijah Woods, the cast of Silicon Valley, James Corden, Charlie. What's his name? Charlie. Oh, what's his name? Can't think.
Is it from Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah, that guy.
Hunnam. Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah, that's it. Jordan Peele. But yeah, so so check it out. Yeah, so that's on Sundays. And that's really cool. I'm definitely gonna be checking out. I check out of AMC when The Walking Dead's done.
Right.
A lot of their shows, Breaking Bad, all that's done with. So they need to get back on the wagon, get some shows in there.
Well, they're pushing Fear the Walking Dead and Into the Badlands and Preacher.
Into the Badlands is good. I guess I've just fallen off so much of television recently that nothing's on at the same time anymore, it seems. Like Game of Thrones is on right now, but nothing else is on.
True.
Maybe in a few months everything will be coming back. I'm totally lost when it comes to that. I'm so used to the Netflix model now, where it's like I know when The Defenders is coming out and stuff like that, but I couldn't tell you when The Flash is coming back. It's coming back soon, right?
Yeah, September, October.
September, right? I know they're all
yeah.
coming soon, but I have no idea when.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm with you. I don't remember the network windows or any of that.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure advertising will tell me when it's out soon.
Oh yeah, sure. Get like 2 weeks ahead of time. You're gonna see them everywhere online, and they'll be able to get away from them.
Absolutely. I realized I didn't watch the last half of or the last few episodes, I think, of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I don't think I saw like 2, maybe 3 episodes this past season.
Yeah, same here. I don't think I saw the last few episodes for whatever reason. Like I was looking at the trailer for the new one and I was like, "Oh, I never watched the end of the last season." Holy shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got to catch up on that cuz the new season looks awesome.
Yeah, that and like every CW show basically. Like I've got to catch up on.
Oh yeah, yep, same here. I caught up with the Flash, Arrow, but that's it.
Nice.
Legends I'm still diving into, and it's so good. Oh my god, is Legends good? That's been fun to kind of to every once in a while just knock out a few episodes. That's been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
but
there's one show on Netflix that I want to get into. Was it called Frontier? I think.
Frontier. What's that about?
It's Jason Momoa plays a fur trader, like back in like old timey French Canada kind of deal. Like I looked at that and I thought this is just like it's like Machismo the series basically, and I'm like like I'm interested in that because it's him kind of playing the type of like he's it's old timey, you had to be tough to do this kind of thing, blah blah blah, but it's him, so I'll watch it, sure, because he's actually really good on top of all that.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think like I started an episode, but I did the dumb thing where I was like, well, it's 3 a.m, I should I'll put something on, and then just like fell asleep because it was 3 a.m.
Oh yeah, I can't tell. Is he wearing makeup in it? What is
it?
His eyes are really dark.
Yeah, I think
it's like face paint.
I think because I don't know if it's because remember this was back when you still had Native Americans, really.
So he's playing Native American in it?
I don't think he is, but I think it's part of I don't think it's like an appropriation thing of like him trying to be something. And I think it's I don't know. I got to be honest with you.
Because I can never tell because his eyes are so dark to begin with that I can't tell if it's just the shadowing or if like he put on like face paint or something.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a camouflage thing or if it's like he's done something and now he's an honorary member of a tribe or something. I don't know. I don't.
Like he lives amongst them.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can't tell, but yeah. Maybe it's just he has dark eyes.
There's always that possibility too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That looks awesome. He's got like an axe. It's all bloody. In like one of the posters.
Yeah, he did. What was he on? Like it's like the only clip of Conan I've seen in like the last year because he was on it. Was like him throwing axes while drinking his beer.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's like that's just like come on. If you're anybody who's gonna be like I'm a manly man, blah 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 blah, watch that clip and then sit down and shut the fuck up because you're not,
right. And it's weird because he's like a manly man hippie.
Yeah, it's really strange, but it works for him. So cool.
Yeah, he's got a style for sure.
Yeah.
Man, that looks cool. Yeah, Netflix is killing it. There's a lot of stuff on there. And if you have like a 4K TV, they have like a whole 4K. Like all their shows are in 4K. Did you know that?
I think I had seen like they started rolling that out a while back.
Which is great because there's nothing like you can't if you have cable, you're limited to what you can get 4K. There's really like you gotta buy a 4K player and buy the movies.
Yeah.
But at least with Netflix, you just search like, I think it's UHD, ultimate high definition. So you just search UHD and it shows you, and it's basically all of their original programming, including like Breaking Bad and stuff like that. That's all on there in like ultra high definition, and it looks fantastic.
Nice.
It looks great.
Yeah, I'll bet I'm happy that I finally got a decent sized TV. I'm not worried about 4K or any of that shit right now.
Oh yeah, no. I was at a family member's house and I noticed it.
Yeah.
Not me, but yeah. But I thought that was cool. That's the future. So like,
yeah,
that's awesome.
I mean, that's where we're headed. That's next. We went from SD to HD. We went from standard def, which we didn't know was standard def, to high def, which we had to see to know it was high def, and now now it's different levels of high def, and now we're getting to ultra high def. It's just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
When will it end?
It won't. They're gonna make them smaller and skinnier, and now the next thing now that I've seen a lot is the Dolby, the way it's like black, where like and they show comparisons where like the black is super black compared to like on like a plasma or whatever, like a brand new television. The blacks look bright because the screen is lit up. Well, the way the Dolby does it, it looks like jet black even though the screen's lit up. Like it looks crazy.
Okay, sure.
It's hard to explain without actually seeing it.
Right.
If you ever go to the Dolby theaters, they do the thing in the theater where they're like, this is your normal screening with black, and this is Dolby, and it looks amazing on the side. So, well, we got to take a quick break. When we get back, we will get into Game of Thrones. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we will see you all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. And for our final segment is just going to be our big topic. So this is a spoiler warning. We're going to talk about Game of Thrones. So fair warning, we're going to get into spoilers. Sorry if you jump in halfway during this for whatever reason if you're listening. But we're going to talk Game of Thrones. We're going to talk about the whole series. We're going to also mostly talk about what's going on this season and what's to come. And but yeah, so we're just going to jump right into it. So so it's been a few weeks. It's been out. There's been 3 episodes. We only have 4 left. What?
God, yeah, that's right. It's only 7 this season. I forgot.
Yeah, it's only 7. That apparently they were going to do 1 season, and then they're like, no, we can split it into 2, do a few extra episodes, split it into 2, 7 episodes each, 14 episodes total for the end of the show. Then a year later, our spin-off will come out, and there's going to be 4 spin-off series.
Well, there's 4. Let's say there's 4 that they're working on.
Right. We don't know what time period it takes place for the spin-off. We don't know. We do know that there will be no character from the main show in this.
Right.
What that tells me, it's either going to be a prequel or it's going to be into the future where those characters we know are dead.
I think prequel. I think we're definitely going to go prequel.
Yeah. So there's a ton of story to tell. This is a giant world. There's a whole side of the map we still haven't really seen or talked about. There's so much stuff with like, what is it, like old Valerian?
Yeah, old
Valeria.
Valeria. Yeah, send me back there. Like I want to know what happened to like render that place so completely uninhabitable. I want to know what was the doom of Valeria. Like that's what I want to know. Yeah,
that whole land. Like it's such an I say untapped world, but it's not. We've tapped a lot into it. But it's so big and massive and so much lore. We could go all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw what's his face go to old Valeria where he got the disease.
Yeah, Jorah. Yeah, it was where he got.
Jorah.
Well, because that's where they send. Because there's nothing that inhabits there, so that's where they send everybody with grayscale.
Right.
That's why they send them there, because that's all. There's nothing there. There's nothing left.
Oh yeah.
It's just
well.
ruins.
Speaking of him, let's jump into him real fast. It's kind of a random place to jump into, but this season we saw him appear where oh man, see now I need to get the list of names because This is gonna be bad.
Sam.
Because I look at the names, the faces I see, but the names just lose me. So, what's the character's name that Jon Snow's buddy?
Sam.
Sam, yes, that's it. Yes. He is sent to what's the place that he's sent to? What's the location?
The Citadel.
The Citadel. There we go. And he runs into him, and of course, this disease has spread. And it was the probably grossest scene.
It was so nasty, and mixed in with everything else that was nasty, and just
everything Sam this season. Yeah, the poop and all that stuff. Just made me want to throw up. But yeah, him chiseling away this stuff off of his body, was just gross. But the good news is he's healed, or he's not healed, but he's cured.
He's cured, yeah.
So thank God. That's awesome, and so getting him back into the mix, it's gonna be interesting for him to like find out where she's at. I guess he just hears it from a stranger. Oh, I hear I hear she's made landfall. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be he'll ask around and somebody will know, because this is big news in their world.
Right. So the Citadel, where is that located?
I couldn't tell you. I have no idea where this is in location to anything.
Okay.
I'm a terrible person to ask about the geography of Game of Thrones, because I do not have a clue.
Me too. So
but at the pace that they're going this season, though, he'll probably be there next week.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I hope he shows up soon, because we need him to get into the mix. But man, they've been making some moves. On the show.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start, dude?
I mean, let's. I don't know. We could kind of just go wherever, because it all kind of ties in. Let's start with Euron, with Euron Greyjoy. He's certifiable.
Yeah.
He's absolutely demented. He is a legitimate, like, Bond villain kind of world domination crazy.
Yeah.
And he owns that. Mm-hmm. It's a magnificent role. It's so well played, because you look at this guy and you're just like, oh no, this is what we talk about all these other characters and they're like, well, they're cruel, or they're this, or they're that. This guy is just absolutely nuts, and he's self-aware, which is frightening. He knows he's a psychopath. And that's terrifying, and it's kind of awesome to watch.
Oh yeah, he's every villain that like Pirates of the Caribbean would want to use, but they can't because it's a Disney movie.
Exactly.
That you would want, because he's a pirate, but he's just bloodthirsty and just crazy, and you really see him take full force and kind of take what he wants. And he wants to be king. He wants to be king of the seven, realms, and he's going to take it by force, and he does. The whole battle, and this was in the second episode, with him and oh man, see now names are just going to escape me. Reek is his name, but his
Theon.
Whatever name,
yeah.
Theon. Jesus Christ, should have looked at these names before we started. Cause
when he just kind of looked at, because Yara was leading their end of the fleet. And that didn't go well for her. And then, there was Theon looking around and going, sorry, I've had dealings with crazy people before, and that resulted in something I don't ever want to think about again, so I'm going overboard. Bye.
Yeah, and I liked how Max Landis on Twitter, he was like, you guys are all giving him shit, but that was the smartest thing he could have done.
Look, I don't, especially when you consider everything his character went through, that's exactly what I expected him to do. I would have been almost disappointed if they'd been like, no, he's going to be heroic and do that. No, that's exactly what his character would have done.
He would have been dead if he would have been heroic. And so that was crazy. That whole battle just kind of came out of nowhere, and I loved that. I loved that. I wasn't expecting it. Was that only that show can go from like a threesome to a big pirate battle in the matter of like a minute, and it was crazy. And but I loved how the first episode started out with almost looked like the Red Wedding in a way.
Kind of. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, and we knew he was dead, so it kind of caught me off guard. Because I was like, we know that guy's dead. But Arya killed that whole family that that killed hers, and I just thought that was such a great scene to open it up with. Like, yes, we are going to start getting some revenge here.
It's the Starks are coming home in every different conceivable way, and it's we saw that again this week with Bran coming back and him being he's in his emo teenager phase, but that's fine, whatever.
Right.
I
have the three-eyed Raven.
Yes, I can't be but no emotion whatsoever, and I'm like, did I miss the part where he became a robot? Basically,
I kind of wish he had longer hair so he could just blow it a little bit, like with his head, just like all emo kids get out of his eyes a little bit. Just don't understand.
Yeah, it's like that little swish. It's like, I told you it'd be hard to explain.
Exactly.
Oh, for God's sake, Brad.
Yeah. Sansa's just like, oh boy, what do we? My brother thinks he's a Raven.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be fun. It's a lot of people not believing other people that live in a world that's just ridiculous.
Right. I mean, here's the thing. We really get to where she can't believe, oh, yes, there's White Walkers and an army of the dead. You've got 3 fucking dragons, which everybody said was dead. They haven't seen dragons in centuries, and you sat in a burning pyre and weren't harmed and hatched 3 dragons from things that people thought were just pretty rocks. But you can't believe that the dead are walking around? Really? Like, that's where we have the line.
Right, and to play devil's advocate, they were around in a time where there were dragons, right? But there was never the Walking Dead.
I don't know the history of what they call the Long Night, which was the last time that there were White Walkers, which is why they built the wall.
But I think that was like hundreds and hundreds of years ago. But I think dragons, they have skeletons. Remember, they went down in the keep, and then it got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. True. I thought that dragons were around for maybe 100 years ago, and that was it.
They have proof of dragons. They have stories of White Walkers. So
exactly, where it's like that's a children's tale, but dinosaurs did exist.
Exactly,
sort of deal.
Basically.
Yeah. Well, to some people they did. We don't get in.
we're not. No, we. That's why we don't play for the Texans.
Exactly. Right. But man, it's been a lot of fun. The last episode, the third one, was probably my favorite of the 3 so far. Because
I loved. I'm sorry, that was the greatest thing ever. Here's this giant list of titles. Here's everything under the sun. It's a full minute of reciting all of her titles. Cut to, this is Jon Snow.
Right.
Oh, he's King of the North. Like, that's it. That's it. I love that so much. I love that so much.
To be fair, though, a little bit later, a few minutes into it, he finally does. He's like, you might have done this, but he united the houses and did this and that and the other. And we've been waiting so long to get Daenerys and Jon together again. Or not again, but together.
Right.
Because technically, aren't they, like, half brother and sister? Cousin. They're cousin. Okay. That'd be weird if they end up together, huh?
No, hang on. Aunt. Oh, all right, hang on. Rhaegar was Daenerys' brother, his kid. Aunt and nephew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that checks.
Did you get a vibe that they were vibing on each other?
I don't think so. Let me tell you how I saw this. They acted like teenagers.
Right.
These were kids. They were genuinely kids. I loved that scene where she's standing there watching Rhaegal and Viserion, and here he comes down the stairs. Their interactions are like 2 juniors in high school who don't, they neither one of them know each other, and they have no idea how to act. All they've heard is like one has talked about this, the other's talked about this, and it's almost like, their friends set them up, and so now what do they do? That was what I got from that, was such a high school vibe.
Exactly. Now, if you could just give them a joint and have them just sit down and talk to each other, they'd probably get along in any other circumstance. But that's how. Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
And I get the feeling that they are going to obviously be good allies for each other, because they are the two. They're the two everyone's rooting for, right? Where that's the good side. Like, and I love the part where Theon was just not Theon. Oh my God, where Tyrion was just like, she's done a lot of good. Before she came here, she could have just come here, but she didn't. She freed these people. She's done that stuff. Go talk to her people, and they'll tell you what she's all about,
Yeah.
And I thought that was such a good thing, because these two people, they are the good guys. And I heard J.R.R. Railroad Martin talk about that. He loves that his characters are not like the classic good guys versus the bad guys.
Right.
The good and evil fight is within the heart of the character, and that they're capable of both things. And usually, the good guy of the story, but I forgot how he put it, but like both the villain and the hero both think they're the hero,
exactly.
And the villain is the other guy on the story. And so there's a lot of that. There's a lot of evil in this world, but it's the choices you make. And so these two characters have made sometimes stupid choices, but they've made ones that they could live with. And so I just can't wait to see what they do together. And I hope that by the end of the season they do take on Cersei, they get all that taken care of, because we all know the next season is going to be just them versus the Ice King, pretty much.
Yeah. And how badass, not just in this season, but all of the different queens, whether official or not, in this episode in particular. I mean, Daenerys' speech to Jon as she comes walking down off the throne, badass. But then you get to the Queen of Thorns. You get Olenna Tyrell at the end of that episode. Just, oh my God. Just capping off her just total badass from the second she showed up on screen. She has been just sharp-tongued and no bullshit, and I'm going to tell you just how much I hate everything. And then to see that Jaime had compassion for her, to say, no, it's not going to be painful, I made sure of that, and it's going to be like this. Well, and then to drop on him, I want you to know, by the way, I poisoned your son. I'm why he died a painful, horrible death. Sorry about that part. Didn't see that coming. But, just tell Cersei it was me. Fuck, man.
Yeah, and in a weird way, because Jaime's an interesting character.
Yeah.
Because he's had some real growth, and it's what we just both talked about, the battle of good and evil in his heart. He's the one guy in Cersei's circle that I want to survive.
Yeah. And
I want him to make it out, but I don't think he will. I think he is now just he knows he's going to be on this shitty end with
because I mean he's you could see it kind of in the start of like, I'm here to make sure she doesn't do anything crazy, but at the end of this last episode, did that flip the switch? Was that finally his way of saying, all right, you know what, I showed mercy and this is what happened, fuck that.
Right.
Like
I think he's going to be the downfall of oh God, what's his name? The guy we talked about at the beginning, the pirate dude
of Euron. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
I think he's going to be the downfall of that guy. It's going to be it's just going, and I don't want this to end. I don't want this to end.
I know we've got to head to wrap up, but can we just marvel at the fact for a minute that the reason that how did they get into Casterly Rock? Well, because Tyrion built a Hodor.
Yeah,
like that. Like that to me was just perfect. It's just absolutely perfect.
Oh yeah. Well, that will wrap it up. We will be back next week. Make sure you go like us and subscribe to us. Facebook, make sure you go to our iTunes, subscribe to us, drop a review, please. Make sure you go to our Twitters at WeGeekPodcast, at TheLoganWitt, at Adam E. Step. Send us an email, WeGeekPodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what topics you want to hear, and we'll get back to you next week. Captain?